Yo, what's poppin', people? Your boy Snacks is back in the building with another banger. And you know how we do. Before we get started, go ahead and do your boy a solid and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn your post notification bell on so you know when your boy is going live or dropping this heat. And it is what it is. Oh, yeah. And Underdog Fantasy. Appreciate you. Go to Underdog Fantasy, use my code Big Snacks, get your first deposit matched, or depending on how much you put in there, they might match you up to $25 or half of what you put in, up to $1,000. So do that. Underdog Fantasy. Holla at your boy. You figure, deal me. But, but it is what it is. I'll tell y'all like this. Whole lot of hating going on. Colorado plays their first game tomorrow against North Dakota State. And it's gonna be a good game, but it's a lot of hating out there. It's a lot of people expecting Colorado to lose. North Dakota State is not the team that they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago. For one, their best defense player is out. Dude had surgery last week. There's no way he's playing tomorrow. Change head coaches. It's a lot of changes on that team. So, and I don't think a lot of you guys did your research on Colorado on what they brought into the house. They brought a lot into the fold. They have one of the best receiving corps in the country, period. Full stop. Top five receiving room, one of the best receiving rooms in the country. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. None of that. Y'all can forget it. That defense is built to stop the run. They brought in those bookends from Pitt, Samuel Okolola, Deion Hayes, running backs for days. I mean, the running back room is stout, So it what y'all think Colorado was last year, you're not going to get the same team. They are better at every position on the field. They got the best two players in college football, the best quarterback, and the best two-way player with Travis. How? Why would you pick against them? The spread ain't big enough. The spread is 8. Need to be 28. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for all this hate from ESPN, and Louis Riddick handled his business. He has stepped up and done what he was supposed to do because he's done some research on the team. He know a little bit. He knows what Prime has brought to the table. So we're going to get into some of this because they started this on Get Up this morning. And Heather Dinich, that little trollop, she hates Deion. She really don't like Deion. She don't like black people, I don't think. But let's jump into this right here and see what's up.
Night. Lewis is here. Heather Dinich jumps into the conversation. Let's play a game we call Fill in the Blank. Heather, monster game this weekend, Georgia-Clemson. So, to beat the Bulldogs, Clemson needs to do what?
Greeny, they need to get a great game out of their quarterback, Cade Klubnik. They need to find some explosive plays downfield and not turn the ball over. This Georgia defense is not one you want to give any freebies, not a short field. Cade Klubnik last year.
Higher than 5th in the new rankings, but that's a different conversation. And then finally, we will see Colorado in primetime, literally in primetime, Thursday night here. So, Heather, by December, Colorado will be what?
Heather's hate.
And after that, Greeny, with 4 wins. When I look at their schedule, ESPN Analytics has them as a heavy favorite to win their season opener. I also think that they can get wins against Cincinnati, Baylor. I mean, Colorado State is one that could be tricky, but I look at this lineup and I see a lot of L's on there, to be honest. Remember, they have a whole new roster again, the most transfers in the FBS with 44. This is a lot of turnover. So I think they could be in trouble, Greeny. And we're talking again about what Deion says off the field and not as much about what he does on it in terms of the win column.
Well, look.
So Heather says Colorado is going to be 4-8. Again, why are people that cover college football, and this is what she does, don't do their job? And she hasn't done the research. She just assumes that Colorado brought in a whole lot of players again, so automatically they're going to suck again. That's not the case. That is completely not the case. Do your work on what Colorado has done. And yes, 132 teams. Yeah, do you need to do them all? No. But the ones you're going to talk about, and you knew this subject was coming up, you didn't do your work. You're going to be talking about Colorado all year. Y'all knew this before the season started. So you should have been doing your homework, going deep and trying to see what Prime has brought in to change his offense and his defense. Y'all don't understand. Prime brought in some heat, some killers, some true players to do the damn thing. But let the world tell it. Hold on a minute. What the hell? Let the world tell it. Prime hasn't done anything. He hasn't changed anything. And that's what they fail to realize. They don't understand that Prime has completely changed his entire team, but it's not the players that they had last year. What he's brought in is starters, people that have game time, game experience, and some of the best ones at it. Those two bookends from Pitt, Samuel Okolola and Mr. Hayes, they ain't nothing to play with. BJ Green is a monster. They got true run stoppers up the middle and on the edges. Linebacking core ain't going to be no joke. The secondary is already stiff. They was already good. They 2 times, 3 times better than they were last year. But we don't let Riddick cook because apparently Heather has no clue.
I mean, the reality is this. Deion Sanders is one of the most significant, famous figures in the entire world of sports, and it creates a lot of conversation, to your point. He took over a program. He didn't take over Alabama or Texas. He took over a program that was going to need some building, and so here they are. They are relevant. The question about how good they are is an interesting one. Lewis, you have known Deion Sanders well for 40 years. What is your perspective on where he has that thing right now and where it's going?
Yeah, I think, look, obviously, like that graphic says on the bottom there, what's more important for him, wins or relevance? Look, they're already relevant now. He's got everybody's attention. It is now shifting to wins, and he understands that because he's been a winner. He's been a winner individually at the highest level because he's one of the best football players to ever put on a uniform. And he has been a winner as far as being a Super Bowl winner, so he understands what team success is looking like. Remember, what he is trying to do out there in Colorado is make a university, a football program that was irrelevant. No one cared about Colorado football. Nobody. What did you expect him to do? I understand that culture is something that is hard to do when you're having.
You see that little smirk on Heather Dinen's face? Look at over there in that right-hand corner. Look like a baby gremlin. Smirking hard as hell, like, yeah, he gonna fail. We want him to fail.
Upwards of 40 transfers and that kind of turnover on your football team every year. But he has no other choice, quite honestly. He has, because he's trying to get this thing up off the ground like right now. Here's the key for Colorado this year. It's not skilled players. It's the big men. It's the offensive and defensive line. We did 2 of their games last year. They have skilled people that can deal with anybody in the country. It's the big men where they were totally, and I mean totally outmatched. Now, if they can get confident play out of that, His son is a bona fide superstar at quarterback. He will be fine. Travis Hunter is a bona fide superstar who you see on your screen right there. He will be a high draft pick. But it's the big men. It's the big men and whether or not then his coaching staff can put them in positions to win football games. But look, there's been other teams that have really jumped head first into the transfer portal, and they have had success. Maybe not to the degree that Deion has had to with 40-plus transfers, but there's been other teams like Florida State, who we're going to do their game this coming Monday, who Mike Norvell has been a master at using the portal. Don't knock the portal. The portal isn't the issue. He's trying to win games and bring back a university and a football program that was dead.
And very quickly,
DEAD, dead. To the floor, dead. 6 feet under, buried under concrete, dead. And he has made that program relevant again. Year 1 is done. They are acting like Prime has been in Colorado for 5 years. This is just year 2. And he's just getting started. See, if you understood what he was doing, if you took the time and done the research, Louis Riddick knows because he's been there. He's taught the Prime. So he understands what he has there. But these other idiots just jumping out the window. Colorado is the best team on paper in the Big 12 without question. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts, about that. Colorado is the best team on paper in the Big 12. And yet and still, they rank them the number 11th team in the Big 12. How? When you got the best quarterback, 3 of the best wide receivers in the conference, 2 of the best linebackers, 2 of the best edge rushers, and 1 of the best running backs. How are they ranked 11th in the conference? How? Because they're hating. Everybody want to hate on Prime because they don't like the noise he makes. And they still whining over Sean Keeler. But we're going to get into that in a minute because Stephen A. doubled down and took up for Paul this morning. That's next. That's coming up right after this. But let's let them finish this up.
people will look at the screen and they will say, all right, Colorado's a 10-point favorite tomorrow night. North Dakota State, they're an FCS school. Do not sleep on North Dakota State. Heather, a quick final thought on that. This is a program that has developed a lot of players that you know in the NFL, and when they step up in class, Heather, they have had a lot of success.
Greedy, this is a 9-time FCS champion. They're better than they were last year. They are loaded at wide receiver. This is a team that might be the best it's been in a couple of years, and they're no.
How are they better than they were last year? And the head coach, coordinator, and another defensive coach all left. They had a bunch of players jumping to the transfer portal. They got a bunch of players hurt right now. How are they better than they were last year? They might have taken a step back. They are nothing compared to what they were last year. But this is what happens when people don't do their job and just want to talk on TV and on the microphone. But let's go.
Joke. So I would definitely put Colorado on upset watch going into this one. And that's dangerous because ESPN Analytics said that they should also lose in week 2 to Nebraska. You start 0-2. That's rough for Deion Sanders.
That's what she wants. She wants them to go 0-2. Colorado's not losing to Nebraska. Colorado's not losing to North Dakota State. See, that Nebraska loss y'all wishing for is whatever that coach name is, because in year 2 of his other college programs, he turned them around. But they ain't say nothing about what Prime did in year 2 at Jackson. So what's the difference? His wins count and Prime don't. Prime won the SWAC in year 2. So what do you mean? Oh, my bad. Prime won the SWAC. He didn't win his conference, but Prime won his. But he's supposed to be better than Prime because, never mind. Let's go.
All right, we will watch what happens. Heather, outstanding as always. Lewis, sit tight. Again, let me show you what we have coming up because that game kicks off look at this weekend of college football that we have coming your way. It starts tomorrow night. With that one, you'll see primetime. Then look at Oklahoma on the schedule on Friday night.
7 o'clock for me, because I'm on the big boy time. 7 o'clock for the kid. You know what I'm saying? But we finna go here in a minute. Yeah, we finna go to jackass number 2. I don't know why they predicted North Dakota State to beat Colorado, simply because they want Prime to lose. And it's ridiculous. The amount of people that want Colorado to lose this game. If you looked in the comments of what people say under these videos and how much people are talking about how much they don't like Prime, it's ridiculous. How can you hate a man for being who he is that much? But they call us Deion Dick Riders, call Prime our God. No, I just like what the man do. I just like his confidence, his aura, because that's been me all my life. I've been just like Prime all my life. Everything I do. So why not follow somebody that's just like me? If you know me, then you know. Me and Prime, like this right here, I'm that same dude. I've been that same way all my life. But it is what it is. Now, what we gonna do is get into this hate. Because if y'all remember the video from yesterday, and where Stephen A. Smith, supposed to be Prime homeboy, was calling Prime out for banishing Mr. Keeler from the Denver Post from asking anybody on the team or himself questions. They don't think that's right to excoriate a member of the media in that manner. They hate that Prime has that kind of power where the university backed him up. But if y'all don't remember what happened, let me guide you there.
Coach Sean Keeler of the Denver Post. Happy summer, my man.
You don't like us, man. Why do you do this to yourself?
Come on. No, Mark likes me, by the way. Yeah, Mark said he likes me. So that's one.
No. Why do you do this, though?
No, I'm sorry. Two-part, if I could.
No, I'm serious. Why do you do this? Like, you know you don't. Like, why do you do
No, it's not that. Football question. Football
No,
question.
why do you do, like, it would be hard for me to really engage in someone I don't like or something I don't like. I'm just asking why. Like, why?
Gotta pay
What did I
attention.
do?
You didn't do anything. It's not about, this is a
But
football
why?
question.
I'm asking you why.
Yeah, you can answer, but that's
Okay,
not
answer me.
Yeah.
Because you want me to answer you. So
Yeah, okay, that's why, that's fair.
Why?
Why? Because I have
Give me
questions.
your why.
What's your why? What do you want to know?
Why do you always on attack? Like, what did we do?
Where am I on attack today? Where am I on attack?
I'm not going to give you opportunity to be on attack. Well, I'm asking you why. Like, what does it do for you? Like, what happened?
It's not about me.
But what happened to get you like this?
It's a good question.
No, I'm serious. I want to help. No, I'm serious. I want to help. Because it's not normal.
We can talk about it. We can talk about it.
Okay.
Can I ask you a football question?
No,
Seriously.
No, we'll talk about that. When we talk about that, I talk about that with you.
Can we ask you a football question,
When I
please?
talk about that, we talk about that. We can talk about that.
When we talk about that, we talk about that. We talk about that. And therein lies the problem. That is my biggest problem with Stephen A. Nobody did that part. Nobody has shown that part where Prime tried to fix the problem in person. And then after that, they set up a meeting to do it in private. But then Sean Keeler went home after they set up the meeting for the next day and wrote another horrible article about Prime. And that's what got it. Tried to fix it. But ESPN ain't talking about that part. They just mad because the guy got banned from asking questions. And they try to make Prime out to be the bad guy. When Prime's not the bad guy. Prime is done taking these hits for over a year. January of 2023, that man started writing those articles about Coach Prime. It is August of 24. You can go back and look at some of my videos. Got Sean Keeler in the title. I've done videos on these horrible articles he has written. But nobody in the media has played that video. And thanks to Uncle Neely for that video. Nobody has played that video. That video is all over the internet. Completely. All over the freaking internet. But everybody want to be mad at Prime because he banned the guy. He tried to fix it. He can't do no more than what he done. He can't do no more. He can't be a nicer person. But yet and still, he the bad guy. And they mad because the university got his back. They supposed to have his back. He worked there. They saw him try to fix it. But Stephen A. punk ass, he want to take up for Paul Finebaum now. Y'all ready? Let's go.
Respect him, I like him, I admire him, but he still looks like a bully to most people who are getting a headline of this across the country. Well, I mean, we're discussing it on the #1 sports show in America, not because of anything Prime has done on the field, because quite frankly, he hasn't done very much. Off the field, he's lost most of his team. Deion looks very small and petty here, and the entity that looks worse than Coach Prime is the University of Colorado for sanctioning this.
That was
Paul for Monday, trying to take up. That's what Paul said on Monday. That's when they brought all this crap back to the forefront. Because mind you, Keeler's suspension happened on Thursday of last week. ESPN comes in on Monday and dredges it all back up and sets the whole media sphere on fire. Now, all the writers, all the commentators, all the commentators, all of them have a problem because Deion was wrong. No. Molly, she had Deion's back. She know what was up. She was trying to get Stephen A. to do the right thing, and he just won't do it. Bow down to the wrong man every time.
Paul reacting to the news that the University of Colorado had effectively decided to silence a reporter because of the critical comments he wrote about head football coach Deion Sanders. The university confirmed Friday that it would no longer take questions from Denver Post columnist Sean Keeler at football-related events. Coach Prime said this about Paul on RG.
That's a correction. On RG3's podcast yesterday, RG3 asked Deion, how does he feel about people about being called irrelevant? And this was his response.
RG3's new podcast, Out of Pocket. He's talking about us. How can we be irrelevant and you're talking about me? Every time I turn around, somebody's sending me a quote that you're talking about me. Oh, right. There's my guy. Hi, Paul. Good morning.
Yeah,
All right, the saga
Molly.
continues. The saga continues, Paul. What's your response to what Deion had to say on RG3's pod?
Your guide to taking the
Oh,
perfect
man, we
shot.
got a commercial.
First, you need to
We
dress
don't
for
want
success and make sure you bring the right equipment. Then
We don't
grip
want
it
no
and rip
dang on
it. Ignite
commercial,
the
man.
fairways.
With Fireball.
Why we want
Jiminy
that?
Cricket, you don't even have a club in your hand.
It's my goodness. That's my
Listen,
bad. I'm on the wrong.
he wasn't reacting to what I said that you just got through playing. I didn't hear anything
Ain't
in
my
Prime's
favorite.
response about whether or not he was a bully or a hypocrite or why he won't let certain people ask questions. He was talking about something I said 5 or 6 weeks ago about the University of Colorado really being an irrelevant program without him, which was a compliment. So Molly, it didn't mean very much to me because it was a fairly irrelevant reaction. He did say something that I agree with. He called me a dying breed in the profession, which I'm proud of because I really do believe that the media should be treated with respect. And
You should be treated with respect when you give it. If you don't give it, you don't get it. Ask Stephen A. Funky face looking at it. If Stephen A. agrees that Deion should answer questions from this man, Stephen A. should sit down with Jason Whitlock and answer his questions. If that's the case, if this is the hill you want to die on, Stephen A. should sit down with Jason Whitlock and answer his questions. If that's the case, since we supposed to answer questions from people that don't treat people with respect and you don't like. If that is the case, Stephen A., if Deion is supposed to answer this guy's questions, you supposed to sit down with Jason Whitlock and answer his questions. Because he got a lot of them. A whole lot of them. Because he did a month worth of videos every day on you. Every day. Especially when your book came out. He questioned your book, if you played basketball, all that. He was questioning how tall you was. Hell. So if that's the case, if Deion is supposed to sit down and answer this guy's question, your ass got to sit down with Jason Whitlock and answer his question. And Mad Dog looked like he drunk as shit. Let's go.
not have selective persecution like he is using out there, not only with this reporter from Denver, but other reporters as well.
A couple of things here. First off, and we're as guilty as anybody, the whole world, because Colorado won at TCU last year, went gaga over Deion and the Colorado program. If you go look at the finished product, that product was a disaster. They didn't make a bowl game. They went over 500. And Sports Illustrated made him the Sportsman of the Year. What?
Huh. That's why you mad too. Because of all that press he got. Y'all was there. Y'all had so much press. Y'all had Big Noon, First Take, College Game Day, all that one game. But it's Deion's fault that y'all showed up. He didn't tell you to show up. You showed up because you knew that's where the eyeballs were. But now it's his fault that y'all fanned the flames and made him extraordinarily super popular. And the team extraordinarily super popular. But then they started losing. You think all that's supposed to go away? No. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You did it. You showed up. Because you wanted some of that wave too. See, Fox jumped in from day one. Fox was there 3 weeks in a row, straight. 1, 2, 3, bang, bang, bang. Big Noon, then Big Noon again for the home game versus Nebraska. And then again, both of y'all were there for CSU. But y'all mad at Deion for what you did. You did that. You gave him that extra to shoot the program and add a little bit more spice to his popularity. He was on every talk show. All of them. But it's Deion's fault. How? It's your fault.
What? Sportsman of the year for a team that goes 5-6 or 5. How was he?
He brought a lot of new eyeballs to college
but he's
football.
not the sportsman of the year.
I'm just saying he's a superstar. He brought a lot of new eyeballs to college football.
Molly,
His son's the star quarterback.
All right. At the end of the day,
they mad. Sportsman of the year. 2. Count them. 2 60-minute pieces in 1 year. He got 5 of the most watched games of the season last year. And they were losing. And y'all still showed up to watch. All the games sold out. Home and away. But it's his fault. Because he has his media team and y'all don't have access the way y'all want access. Because he gets to put out the stuff he wants to put out. He don't have to go through you. He don't have to send it to ESPN and say, hey, put me in this segment. Get a little shine right here. He don't have to ask you for nothing. They get to do it all there on their own. Their fan base is big as yours almost. Well, I take that back. Colorado probably got the biggest fan base in the world. That's with fans and haters. Because haters are fans too, because they watch everything. So stop being mad at him for something you contributed to, something you played a part in, for something you shine the lights on and say, hey, over here, these people, they hot. Just like Prime told RG3 in that video yesterday, a fan only blow when you hot. And y'all was blowing. Y'all gonna blow again this year because it's gonna be the same thing. But this time, the winning ain't gonna stop. And when the winning don't stop, guess what you gonna do? Oh, you gonna beat each other up trying to get in the bowl. Y'all might host the rest of the game through the end of the season after they win these first 4 in a row. Because then he done met the mark from last year. Now we got to see how many more he gonna get. Oh, y'all gonna be 10 Colorado. Let's go.
What was the final record?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, to start it off, it was high. You had all celebrities there at the games.
I get it, and I understand there was some juice there, and I watched Colorado USC bet them and everything else, wanted to support them. But the end result was not very pretty. So that's number one. You got to be fair. I mean, they didn't even finish 500, and he was on the cover of. He was the Sportsman of the Year.
See?
I mean, how in the world did anybody think last year that the Sportsman of the Year?
Well, you heard him. Everyone's always talking about him. You heard him.
That's it. Which is, and listen. He came in the studio last March. I had a great interview with him. I've been a big fan. He's a great baseball player. I get it. But hold on now. Anytime you start attacking the media and telling the media you can't ask a question, this is a columnist. This is not some guy, from the Fort Collins Times. This is the Denver Post. It's a huge paper. You can't.
So what? That's the problem. Y'all think y'all got carte blanche to do what you want to do. And Deion and shut that shit down. And y'all scared that other coaches are going to follow him and do what he's doing. So when y'all go over there acting up in other people's program and those other coaches start going, hold on, man. No. Back away. Leave it alone. We ain't talking to you today. See, that's what you're scared of. The whole media sphere. All of y'all scared because you know he leaves. And when he leaves, other people follow. And once that mark is set, that's why all y'all on these shows, these podcasts, these radio shows, ESPN, Fox, ABC, all of y'all crying. But ain't nobody played that video. Ain't nobody played this.
Coach Sean Keeler,
ain't nobody played
happy
this.
summer, my man.
Play this.
Come on.
And then talk that same talk.
Mark said he likes me. So that's one.
No, that's what it is, though.
No, I'm sorry.
That's what you do. Play that and talk that same talk, and then see how your audience react. Stephen A. the biggest fraud in the world. Because you know, and I heard you this morning on First Take, you know why. You know it's more, but you just won't go there. Because you got to stand on this hill you're going to die on, because you're trying to be a friend to them instead of being a friend to him. I heard you this morning. Yeah, I talked to Prime personally. If you talk to Prime and you still on TV shooting this crap right here, if I was Prime, I'd block your ass. But he ain't gonna block you because he needs you every now and then. He needs your platform. But you wrong. And you know you wrong. That's why you got that shitty look on your face. You know you should have your boy's back right here. But let's go.
You're going to come up small when you start saying that. You can come to our games and you can be around, but you can't ask the head coach a question. I mean, come on. I mean, that Deion's got to be bigger than that. I mean, geez, you're afraid to answer a question. And I don't know anything about the reporter. So, I mean, is he taking unnecessary shots? I can't answer that. I'm not out there.
They say he's taking unnecessary shots.
See, this is shit I'm talking about. Everybody's speaking on something they don't know. Why are you talking? Because you want to be in the hot take. But don't nobody know. We still don't know. You ain't did no research. You ain't did no, 3 of y'all, 6 different people that could have been done research, because I know each of y'all got at least 2 researchers. Paul got a whole staff, a big one. Mad Dog do 2. Stephen A does 2. So y'all could have done the work. Stephen A say you to talk to Prime. You know what's going on. And you still doing this right here. And Stephen A trying to say his biggest gripe is that the university said something. Yeah, they supposed to have their coaches back. Because if they didn't, he wouldn't be working there. Why would you hire somebody that you're not going to stand up for? Y'all used to these universities folding for y'all and capitulating and doing what the public think they ought to do, or what you reporters think they ought to do. Prime a different entity, and you know that. And yet you still go on TV spouting this BS. Like that's your boy. That ain't your homie. That's not your boy, cuz. That ain't your boy. So stop it. Stop talking like it. Stop acting like it. You try to use Prime just like everybody else and get these clicks. That's your purpose right now. Because you can't tell me you ain't seen it. Your feed was so long yesterday. Well, people ate your ass up. They done posted that clip, everything. You saw it all. And yet you still sit up there and pretend like you don't know. They sent you the articles, everything. But you still sit up there and act like you don't know. I can go to your Twitter feed right now. And under that post you posted, it's over 1 million people that seen it. A whole shit ton of comments with that video and everything else. So stop acting like you don't know when you know. Just say, I got to dance for the boss man.
Shots. They say that it's gotten personal. They say that, they brought up, racial insensitivity when it comes to him in terms of his reporting and his words on
but if that's
his family. That's what they say.
Well, then kick him out.
That ain't what they say. That's what you know. You know all this because you say you talk to Prime. So you know all of this. This clown on TV, man. Why? Let's go, man.
Out of the program entirely. He's still allowed to go to the games, go all the practices. If he's been that detrimental, he's not allowed on Colorado campus. Do it that way, almost like he's doing it halfway. You got to answer the questions from the report. It's one question a week, and if you don't answer it, you look small.
Right.
And I think that's what.
No, if he don't answer it, he don't answer it. He ain't got to talk to it. But see, if he don't answer the question, and then y'all want to, well, why Prime ain't talking to that guy? Why he ain't answering that guy question? Why he keep ignoring? It's still going to be a thing. But now you know it's a thing because the Denver Post put out a presser and said Colorado said we can't, John Keeler can't ask no question to Coach Prime. Y'all some punks. Let's go.
A lot of people think right now.
Well, let me take it from here.
Oh, here you go.
Deion Sanders is a friend of mine. I've known him for decades. Got a lot of.
See, there you go. Deion Sanders is a friend of mine. Deion, you want to be a friend of Deion Sanders. You ain't no friend, dog. Because friends don't do this to friends. On national TV, on the biggest sports show on the freaking planet, besides Pat McAfee. Friends don't do this to their friends. As much as you scream and shout, holler and cuss, you're supposed to stand up on the table and let these boys know Prime ain't did nothing wrong. But yet and still, look at you. Look like a drunk weasel. Look like you got high before you came to work. See, those are personal shots, right? That's what old boy was doing to Prime. I'm doing it so you can feel it a little bit, because you don't like when people take shots at you. But like I said, once again, if you think Prime should answer these dudes' questions, you gotta answer Jason Whitlock's questions. You have to sit down with Jason Whitlock and answer those questions. Let him question you. Let's go back.
A lot of love for him, and I know a lot of things about him that the average person doesn't know, because I'm one of the people he trusts enough to communicate with on that level. Having said that, I'll be right here on national television, and you can put Paul Finebaum up on the screen as well, please, so I can see him. He's wrong. He's wrong about Paul Finebaum. Okay. Let me tell you why he's wrong about Paul Finebaum. Because that same man that's on that screen right now that Deion Sanders was talking about is the same Paul Finebaum that has praised Deion Sanders on many, many occasions, including last year, talking about the attention that he brought to college football, how much it was much needed.
And soon as they started losing, what did he do? What did he do? Soon as they started losing, what did Paul do? Huh? Now, you got some of the receipts. You need all of them. As soon as they started losing last year, what did Paul revert to? Where did he go with it? Let's go.
How the scarcity of black coaches in the history of college football, what he did to elevate the profile of African Americans and what they could do in the sport of college football. The person who came to primetime Deion Sanders' defense was Paul Finebaum. And so when Deion Sanders, who's very popular for telling you, bring your receipts, know what you're talking about, do your homework, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, bring your receipts, do your homework, know what you're talking about, et cetera, et cetera. So, you're talking about what he said when they were winning. What did he say once they started losing? When they lost to Oregon, what did he say? How did he act? What did he do? He showed up and showed out. He went back to talking crap Paul. The same person that was on my local radio in Birmingham. He went back to that guy. But one-sided, yet again. Let's go.
It may have behooved him to do his homework on Paul Finebaum when it comes to him. Because even though Paul Finebaum was critical of him the other day and last week, for most of last year, Paul Finebaum was praising him. Paul Finebaum talked about how he deserved the job at Florida State. Paul Finebaum talked about how it would be great if he were in the SEC and he had a hold of a better program as opposed to being in Boulder, Colorado. So as much as I love my brother Deion Sanders, and he is my brother, and I love him to death.
Oh, yeah.
I also love Paul Finebaum.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And I know that Paul Finebaum has come to his defense on many occasions. So in that regard, as it pertains to what Deion had to say about Paul Finebaum specifically, respectfully, you're wrong. He's wrong about that.
Are
now,
you sure?
Having said all of that, here's what I would say to you, Doggy, and everybody else. Deion Sanders got to win football games. That's true. Can't lose 6 straight. Can't lose 8 of your last 9 games. Can't go 4-8 and think that you're not going to get criticism, especially when you started off the season beating TCU, who was the national runner-up at the time, and then you looked at the reporters and said, do you believe? Until they confirmed for you, they believe. And they were like, it's just one game. Do you believe? Oh, you don't believe. And he waved them off. That's how he started the season. But in the process of bringing that up, are we really going to ignore what he inherited? I mean, my God, Colorado was straight garbage. And they were beyond irrelevant. They weren't even in an abyss, because even when you're in an abyss, somebody knows who the hell you are. Nobody's paying attention to them. Their program was trash. Deion Sanders inherited a 1-11 team. He had about 51 transfers, for crying out loud. He overhauled a lot of different things, and it brought a national attention and national profile. So I didn't think that he deserved, like you said, the Sportsman of the Year or whatever. But
now you think he don't deserve the Sportsman of the Year. Now you don't think he deserved those 2 60-minute joints. See how your homeboys turn on you. They turn on you, boy. That's supposed to be your man, 100 grand. He's supposed to be holding it down for his dude. But look at it. Up there with them people. Showing out.
But I understood what Sports Illustrated was thinking at that particular moment in time, because what they were saying is, you have this black man in college football where Nick Saban resided at the time, where Kirby Smart still resides, where Dabo Swinney resided, where Ryan Day resided, where Jim Harbaugh resided. And you had the college football world transfixed on him. It wasn't until they received their comeuppance against Oregon and Coach Lannon did his pregame speech and made sure the cameras was rolling while he did it to embarrass them, and then went out on the field and embarrassed them. It wasn't until then that humility kicked in. So you got to take into consideration all that he inherited. You had a vastly undersized defense.
Yeah.
They were giving up. They were getting ran roughshod over. But his son is a superstar in the making. This brother's got all the potential in the world. Travis Hunter is one of the elite players in the game. All of these things, you got transfers coming out, people gravitating to Boulder, Colorado. First Take was there. I was there with Shannon before that, where you did what you're mad about segment because I didn't invite you.
You never do.
All of this other stuff.
Never do.
We got to go to the baseball game. But the point is, all of those things you have to take into consideration. You can't just ignore. You can't just look at Deion. Now you can look at them guys and say the record got to win football games. Be last year, come on now, look at what he inherited. Look at how he changed the culture.
Now you trying to be a big guy. Now you trying to take up for your boy. Now you trying to hold it to standard and say, but you ain't talking about, you're not talking about what they did, what Finebaum has done. You talking about, let me see. I got this video right here. Let me find it real quick, because I want to jump back on this. If I remember where it's at. Let me see. Y'all give me one. Yeah, here we go.
loss to the Oregon Ducks this weekend. But it sounds like college football expert Paul Finebaum is still impressed by Sanders. Deion Sanders obviously took a lot of heat following the blowout loss, but Paul Finebaum still praised him after the game. Prime brings out a lot, but I think, that's what makes him great, Finebaum said on the Matt Berry Show according to On3. I mean, I really liked what he said after the game. He said, take your shots now. I mean,
This is
he's
last year.
confident. He's not playing stupid, junior high games like a certain Ole
This
Miss
is last
coach.
year.
I mean,
After
he
the
spits it
Oregon
out.
loss.
He lets you know who he is at all times. And I respect that, and quite frankly, he handled the losses as well as he handled a win. Finebaum acknowledges that the hype around Colorado is not going to be quite as high the rest of the year as the team takes more losses, but Sanders is still going to be on the forefront of people's minds despite the team's record. While Colorado will fade, Deion's not going anywhere, Finebaum said. And I think it's most interesting how he handles the portal and recruiting because he is going to still affect a lot of important programs by the players that he is able to attract. It will be interesting to see how Sanders' rebuild at Colorado continues, not just this season, but in the future.
Now, that was one of the videos that I wanted to show y'all from last year. Because I knew after that Oregon loss, Finebaum said they ain't going to win nothing else. And they didn't. But where is that? I can't find that other video. I should have had it pulled up. Because I know my boy Jay Easy did it. Because let me find Jay video and show y'all what I'm talking about. But we're going to get back to Stephen A. And I'll pull up Jay video. I know I got that. Let's get back to this crap right here.
Look at the attention he brought to the program and to college football. You can't diminish that significance from Deion Sanders. Just can't.
Paul, before you jump in, and obviously, as Stephen A. mentioned, it transcended sports, but we keep talking about the 4-8 record. I do want to mention 5 of those 8 losses were one-score losses. Paul?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Stephen, I obviously thank you, and I agree with you. And my criticism of Deion is for all the reasons that you have laid out. I caught some flack a few weeks ago because I literally threw his name out on this show in the event that Lincoln Riley was replaced. That what a great figure Deion would be, because I am a fan of his. But what I'm not a fan of are all the things we've talked about, and that to me is extremely disturbing, because I know how many people he affected. I was on this program 5 weeks into the college football season last year saying he has taken all the oxygen out of the sport because he's the only thing people are talking about from New York to LA.
That's right. Because he was the only thing everybody was talking about. Even in the week 6, Colorado was still the biggest draw in sports. With football, with NFL football going on, y'all was still talking about Deion in Colorado in the middle of NFL football games. It don't get no bigger than that. When you're talking about college football in the middle of an NFL game, and the NFL is supposed to be the standard, you the man. Deion is a spectacular human being because he does what others don't do. He doesn't walk the same way the other coaches walk. He don't talk the same way the other coaches talk. He doesn't handle situations the way other coaches would handle it. He handled them the Deion way. And he does it not to offend nobody, but he just doesn't do it to make you feel good about it either. He doesn't guard your feelings when he's doing what he wants to do, because your feelings don't matter when he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Everybody want Deion to do the normal stuff, the normal way, but that ain't Deion and that ain't his way. That's what you got to get used to. If you don't get used to that, you'll never be comfortable around Deion and the things that he does. Because with everything he does will not be normal. Y'all ain't talking about the money he just gave to each father on his team. Each person, each player on his team that has a kid or kids. Deion, the NIL Alliance, and a bank in Colorado, a credit union, just set up, 259 bank accounts for those children. High interest accounts. So they will have money when they turn 18, 19, 20 years old, whenever it's awarded to them. So they won't leave high school broke. So they'll have 100,000, 200,000 that they can start their life off with. So they don't start out at the bottom. That's how you pass wealth on. You start them there. You start them in the middle of the race, not at the back of the race. But ain't nobody talking about that. I haven't seen not one ESPN segment on that. No. Because you too busy talking about what he did to a reporter. This shit don't matter. But for y'all, it's the biggest thing smoking because y'all don't want other coaches to do what Deion is doing. Y'all ain't fighting for that idiot in Colorado, Sean Keeler. Did you see Keeler's article yesterday? I mean, the one he dropped? Ain't got no bad press in it. I promise you that. Are you talking about that? That article he dropped ain't got no bad press in it. Oh, he giving the praise up now because Keeler has been doing what he did to Prime. He's been doing it to other coaches and the school for years in Colorado. The buck got to stop somewhere. At some point in time, Sean Keeler has to be held responsible for his words. If you're going to write it, stand on it. And when the man is sitting in your face and asking you what's your problem, don't be no punk about it. Tell him. But you couldn't do that. You couldn't tell him, and that's why he ain't talking to him. Because he ain't got no respect for him. Because your keyboard is how you stand up. But when a man is in your face, see, that's the difference. When you face to face and you look at a man in his eye, you get to see him squinch up and hold his head down like a little punk. Speech get a little soft, a little sweat right here. Because now what you gonna do? I'm right here. And that was Sean Keeler. He wasn't able to do all that. But let's get back.
That was very positive for all the reasons you laid out. And I think when he goes low, when he becomes petty, for whatever reason, because I'm not a psychiatrist, it takes away from what he can do and how great he can be. Molly and Stephen A. and I have had many conversations about why what he means and where he could go. And I know for a fact that black coaches, particularly in the South where I live, have had an incredibly difficult time getting hired.
Incredibly difficult time getting hired. There's been one black coach in SEC, well, two. Sylvester Croom was at Mississippi State. Kevin Sumner was at Texas A&M. That's it. That was the end of that. And Mississippi State hired Sylvester Croom because Alabama wouldn't hire him. That's how he got that job. Kevin Sumner got the job because he was doing shit up the street and they wanted to get that greatness over here. But no, dog. tell me about no.
Because athletic directors just don't have the stomach for it. They don't want to. They don't want to hear from the fans. And to me, Deion has shattered a lot of that. And it was one reason why I felt like he needed to be somewhere other than Colorado, where it would just be constant turmoil. But
right, you want him to be somewhere other than Colorado, where it would be constant turmoil. Tell on yourself. Tell on yourself. You want him to be somewhere else where it would always be a problem, so he can be there and niggas think they're gonna run him out of town. No, y'all mad because Deion got carte blanche in Colorado, and y'all can't touch it because you can get your privileges took in Colorado, playing around with Deion Sanders, with 2-1 headache game daddy. Playing around over there, you get your card revoked. So that's your biggest gripe, that Deion did this, which might lead the way to all these other coaches standing up like this. Let's go.
But as far as his criticism, it doesn't matter. The fact that we are talking about him supports part of his theory. But if Deion doesn't win Thursday night, and if he gets off to another bad start like he finished, we're not going to be talking about him here. And
why does everybody predict? What's up with him if Deion don't win Thursday night? What's up with that? It's North Dakota State. Have you seen what Deion got in that stable? No, but y'all sports reporters, y'all are college football reporters, especially that one in the middle with the backwards fade. He do college football all day. I didn't watch Paul grow from a small radio station to a local radio station to a regional radio station to a national radio station to ESPN. I watched Paul grow. And thanks to Nick Saban, he's where he is today. Without Nick Saban, I don't know. It might have been ugly. He still might have been local in Birmingham doing the damn thing. Or he might be regional because, you had expounded, XM and Sirius had reached out. You had got some growth, But y'all need to stop this hate. Let's go.
that's to the detriment of what he represents.
My question to Steve is this.
Mad Dog sitting up there looking like Arthur Fonzarelli granddaddy. Let's go.
Should you treat the Denver columnist like that, not let him ask a question? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, I would say this to you.
We have sound, by the way. Can we play that real
Sure,
quick
go ahead.
from the Denver columnist, Sean Keeler? Let's play that.
Wait a minute. What we got?
Who just picked up Buffalo Wild Wings Go? The Hankster! Hank! What?
Jimmy already got B-Dubs Go.
Well,
Jimmy already got B-Dubs Go. Jimmy already got B-Dubs Go?
We want to see what they talking about.
Okay, Jimmy already got B-Dubs Go delivered. But did he get 10 free boneless wings?
Yeah.
No!
I want to know what's going on.
Fear is the four-letter word I keep coming back to, and it's everywhere. I think players are afraid. I think coaches are afraid because they saw what happened to the first-year staff. I think media are afraid, and I think Colorado administrators are afraid. And if they win, it'll all be justified. And if they don't, grab your popcorn.
I want to say this about the columnist Sean Keeler. I don't know him.
Hold on. That ain't the sound you should have played. This is what you should have been playing right here.
I'm serious. Why do you do this? Like, you don't. Like, why do you do this?
No, it's not a football question.
Why do you do, like, it would be hard for me to really engage in someone I don't like or something I don't like. I'm just asking why. Like, why? What did I do?
You didn't do anything. It's not about this.
But
football
why?
question.
I'm asking you why.
Yeah, you can answer that. That's
okay,
not
answer
true.
me. What? Because you want me to answer you. So
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fair.
Why?
Why? Because I have
Give me
questions.
your why.
What's your why? What do you want to know?
Why do you always on attack? Like, what did we do?
Where am I on attack today? Where am I on attack?
I'm not going to give you opportunity to be on attack. Well, I'm asking you why. Like, what does it do for you? Like, what happened?
It's not about me.
But what happened to get you like this?
It's a good question.
No, I'm serious. I want to help. No, I'm serious. I want to help. Because it's not normal.
We can talk about that. We can talk about that.
Okay.
Can I ask you a football question?
No,
Seriously.
No, we'll talk about that. When we talk about that, I talk about that with you.
Can we ask you a football question?
When I talk about that, we talk about that. We can talk about that.
Work. And I hope he understands I'm not judging him. When I bring up the stuff that I've said about him, I'm saying.
See what I'm saying? That's what y'all should have been playing. Why y'all didn't play that sound? Why y'all didn't play that video? You want to play the part where Keeler talking about Coach Prime is scared. Coach Prime is not scared. Y'all want to hear Sean Keeler? I got Sean Keeler, dog. I got him for you. Served up on a platter. Because Sean Keeler is a clown. Do y'all not understand that? Sean Keeler he wanted the attention he got, but he didn't think Coach Prime would shut him down.
9-win talent. Yes, they do. They do.
He didn't think Coach Prime would shut him down like he shut him down. This is Sean Keeler on 365 Sports last month. Last month on a worldwide podcast. This is Sean Keeler talking about Coach Prime. Let's go.
John Hader says they have 8-9-win talent. Yes, they do. They do on paper. I think they have a 4- and 5-win coaching staff, and I hope they prove me wrong. So let's do the math on that one. That comes out to about 7 and 5, doesn't it? I think if you split the difference there, there's a way to get there. And I liked that Deion has gone from saying on, or maybe it depends on who he talks to. And he goes on Fox Sports 1 and says, we'll be in the playoff. We're a playoff team. In a spring game, he looked at what he had there and said, I'm going to tell our super fan, Miss Peggy, we're going to get you to a bowl. We're going to get there. We're going to make that work. So we're moving the goalpost just a little, but I do think the bowl goalpost is more than fair for what they've got, but they've got to navigate a really, I guess, say tricky, but an interesting September if you pull that up, because
Now, how this guy talks and how he writes is worse than that. But that was just a piece. I'm not going to give y'all all of it because I got the whole freaking podcast with him on it, talking crazy. But I am just me. And I know and have this information. These guys have a mountain of support and people that work for them that could do the job 10 times better than I can. And they're not providing you guys with none of this information because they only providing you with the stuff they want to bitch, complain, and moan about. And the only thing they're worried about is that reporter. But we're going to get back to it. Let's go. Oh, no, we're not looking at him.
Saying that's what they're saying about him. I'm not saying these things about him. I don't know him. But I will say this. Deion Sanders has a right to say, I don't want to talk to you. That wasn't my issue, Dougie, as I explained to Finebaum the other day. My issue was Colorado as a program getting involved.
Hold on. How the hell are you backpedaling? Don't backpedal now. You die on that hill. You die on that hill. You stand on it and you stick your freaking chest out. And you die on that hill. You had a problem with Deion because you said, Deion, you are wrong. That's what you said out your mouth. But now you ain't got a problem. Don't back it up now. Don't be like Juvenile and back that ass up now, son. Oh, no, sir. You ain't got no beep on your ass. We don't hear no beep, beep. No, ain't none of that. I want you to stand on it and poke your chest out. Beat on your chest like King Kong. Like you do all them other times when you swear you right. Oh, you gonna eat this today. Let's go.
And sponsoring that kind of behavior. Deion has a right. If you're personally attacking me, I have a right to tell you to kiss off, kick rocks, get the hell out my face. I'm not.
So if he got the right to tell him that, then what you mad about? What is this big ass stink about? What are y'all setting the internet on fire for? If y'all mad, and if he got the right to say that and do that. Y'all was crying yesterday. He ain't had no right to do that. He can't do that. Yes, hell, he can't do what he want to do.
Not answering any questions from you. What I don't want is the program to piggyback off of that.
The school mandating the protocols.
Like, wait a minute now. So you keep he's keeping his credentials, and he can still come to Colorado events and stuff like that. But he can't answer the question. And you're going to issue a press release as a program because you're supporting your coach. Well, wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. Colorado didn't issue a press release. The Denver Post issued the press release. Colorado said nothing to nobody. Denver Post asked them for something in writing, and they sent it to them. And then Denver Post published it. Why Sean Keeler is not allowed to speak to Deion or anybody else in the program. Get y'all shit together, man. This is supposed to be what y'all do for a living. You on the biggest sports platform in the world, and your information wrong. You sound like Trump right now. You just lying. Full of shit. Stop doing it, brother. Because that's your man. Remember, that's my guy. I love him to death. See, Deion, I love him to death. So full of shit. Look at me. Y'all better get y'all boy Stephen A. Sitting up here with these people just lying on this man and trying to make this man to be the bad guy when he did nothing wrong, period, at all. He tried to fix the situation. And your reporter guy, your man that you taking up for right now, couldn't even open his mouth and talk for himself. He couldn't stand up for himself. Why you standing up for him? Y'all standing up for a man that punked out in the face of having a mature grown man conversation. He turned into a little girl. Had nothing to say. Put his head down. Spoke softly. Just why? Because my 11-year-old son can answer questions better than he can. But why? Let me just ask you a question. No. No. But you sitting on national TV defending this man for being a punk. Fuck out of here.
Wait a minute now. The coach is a big boy, and I'll say this on national television. Deion Sanders is a grown man. You don't need the program to stand up.
Sean Keeler is a grown man. He don't need Stephen A. to stand up, because that's what you're doing. You're standing up for him, because he couldn't stand up for himself. Come on, dog. You're standing up for a man that couldn't even stand up for himself. Couldn't even answer a simple question. Why? What did I do? How can I help? Let me know. Yeah, him. That's who you standing up for. Fuck out of here.
And say, well, we support his decision to not talk to a media member. There's plenty of coaches that have dismissed and kissed off media members that they don't like.
But now you know what's going to happen? It's going to be plenty of coaches that dismiss media members that they don't like. And guess what? Now that Prime has done it and Colorado has done it, that Colorado had Prime back like your program should, like your school should, it's going to be a lot of that going around. And boy, y'all might set y'all hair on fire. Because what's going to happen when Kalen DeBoer say, "No, I don't want to talk to you." Paul Finebaum. Don't even worry about it. Get on out here. And what's going to happen when the University of Alabama stand up and say, "Yeah, Paul, you can't talk to Kalen DeBoer because we don't like what you did." That's what y'all scared of.
All of that pomp and circumstance wasn't necessary because now it brings the wrong kind of attention, in my opinion, to Deion from the standpoint, okay, what he's trying to say about Deion now, the bully on the block and all of this other stuff, comes into play because now they're going to bring him up as a player with Tim McCarver. They're going to bring him up as a coach at Jackson State. They're going to bring up what he did with the reporter for CBS. They're going to bring up all of these things that have nothing to do with this because now the focus is going to be on Deion's behavior instead of the columnist. If you simply don't talk to him, but you talk to everybody else, all right, and you leave it at that, that's fine.
It's a decision scenario that you don't need. You don't need that kind of distraction. That would be my point.
I just feel like Deion is not thin-skinned at all whatsoever, that there must be more to this, that it got to this level.
I don't know enough about
it. And I would love if he came on our show and we were able to expound upon it and talk about it, but just knowing Deion all these years, he's not going to let one local columnist get under his skin.
But he already
Molly is trying to get Stephen A. to do right, to get off of this hill. Molly trying to get Stephen A. Shut up, Stephen A. Come off of there. She put you in play to back up. Put your beaker on. Get your juvenile on. Put your blanket on. Put that backup sign. Beep, beep. She trying to get you to do that. Dumb.
And change it. No, there's got to be more to it. There's got to be.
I'm saying, Molly, there is more.
So there's a deeper level.
But
you heard that? Did you hear that? See, there is more, Molly. Stephen A. knows. He knows there's more, but he refuses because he wants to sit up there with them folk. Stephen A. a snake, dog. Stephen A. a snake.
Because of Colorado getting involved.
I get it, but I'm saying from the Deion standpoint, I don't know why Colorado chose to double down. What the thought process was, with their PR.
They should have stayed out of it. Deion's big enough to handle it.
What I want to go back to, because obviously you're much more.
He's still trying to down that. They should have stayed out of it. Why should they have stayed out of it? They did stay out of it. They told her, "Hey, shut your ass up. Come in and sit down in the back and keep your mouth closed. When basketball season starts, you talk again." After that. But go read Sean Keeler's latest article about Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes and tell me what you see. Go read that. Hold on. I'm finna do y'all a favor. I am fixing to do y'all a favor. If y'all don't know, Shador got his Nike NIL deal today. He is officially the first and only college student to have a Nike NIL deal. Go ahead, too. Do your thug thizzle. Got that Nike NIL deal. And then when he signed that thing in a year or two, when he signed that thing next year, he gonna have the big Nike deal. I'm finna show y'all something. See this right here? Deion Sanders, Sean Keeler, right here. Him. That dude right there. See that right there? Sean Keeler, Denver Post columnist. That guy. This is his latest article. Deion Sanders, Colorado Buffalo. Look smart, tough, fast, but are they disciplined? If there are plenty of problems have been resolved, that's even more important than it was last year. Yeah, that column, Their columns don't sound the same like those other ones did. That's what he just wrote. That was put out today. That was put out today, 7 hours ago. But see, when you start, now let's get back to this foolishness.
More inside the locker room with this. Keeler sounds specifically where he talked about that culture of fear and everybody's fearful of Deion. From what you've been told, does that seem accurate?
Watch this.
I think what he's talking about is from a media standpoint. I can't answer to the players because the turnover there, I think, speaks for itself. But a lot of reporters today are scared of the people they cover because they don't make that much money. Jobs are scarce. And coaches, by and large, are bullies. And I'm not talking about Deion Sanders here. I'm talking about some of the best names in the industry. And they because the media is so upside down, I'm not talking about people that are on this show. I'm talking about local beat reporters that all of us were at one time. They have no voice. And if they cross a line, they'll get shut out. And that's what irritates me. And I think I can speak for Mad Dog and Stephen A. as well. So I think that's what he's referring to. I wish Keeler would be more specific. He has a bully pulpit. He may not be able to talk to Deion, but he can certainly talk to us.
And this does not apply to Deion Sanders. I'm just speaking generically to piggyback off of Paul's point.
Here we go.
In the day and age that we're living in, with the advent of social media and so many people having podcasts, obviously having social media accounts or whatever, they view the fourth estate, the media, in a far more diminished state. Their belief is we have a voice. We don't need y'all anymore, et cetera, et cetera. Right. And so as a result, if you're a local reporter, you're barely, I'm not in anybody's pockets or anything like that, but you're barely making six figures. You know, the vitriol that can come your way because of people targeting you that you may write about, talk about, et cetera, and they don't like you and what have you, it can squash you. It can squash you. I see professional athletes trying to invoke that level of power.
That's why they mad at Deion, dog. That's exactly why they mad at Deion. That's exactly why they mad at Deion. Because they scared. Because Deion already got his own media conglomerate in Colorado. Got Bucky, Uncle Neely, and Darius. And the Colorado media team. He got 4 separate entities to use without even going outside the building to get his message across, to say what he wants to say. And he can get it out just like that. He ain't got to wait till tomorrow. He ain't got to wait for the paper to come out. He ain't got to do nothing. When he wanted it out there, boom, his following is humongous. And everybody follows suit. And they work together. They collab to put stuff out. So this is why the hate is so tremendous. Because Deion does stuff his own way. They scared that other coaches in other schools are going to follow suit. That's their biggest fear. Because their legs are getting chopped out from up under them. And if other schools follow Deion's lead and start having their own media team in-house like Deion has, not the school's media team, their personal media team, and you control your narrative the way you want to and put out stuff other than the basic stuff when a reporter shows up and give their interpretation of what you said and how they feel, when you don't need them as much as they think you do. It's all going to turn on his head. And that's the problem now. Deion, they know Deion doesn't need them. And if he starts cutting reporters off, somebody else is going to say, hey, we can do that too. And we don't need them over here either. Now let them start acting up and see what happens. That's what they don't want. But anyway, man, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate y'all for watching. Hit the like button. Don't forget, Underdog Fantasy. Use my code Big Snacks, 2Ks I should have put it in the video, but I didn't think about it. But it is what it is. See you plays tomorrow. I will be back with another video tomorrow. I'm out. I'll holler at y'all. Y'all be easy. Have a good day. Peace.